News first at 4. Motion denied. The convictions of the Winston-Salem Five will remain overturned.
This group of men were convicted in the 2002 murder of Nathaniel Jones. He's the grandfather of NBA star Chris Paul. Our Christine Cruz joins us in studio to break down what was just issued by the Court of Appeals. Christine.
Kara and Lindsay, a judge overturned the convictions of Rayshawn Banner and Nathaniel Cawthon back in August, but that didn't mean they could immediately walk free. A filing by the Forsyth County District Attorney's Office has kept them behind bars, but today the North Carolina Court of Appeals shut that down. In the order, the Court of Appeals points to a lack of evidence presented by the state during the 3-week hearing we heavily covered in January. The court also says the state failed to articulate a clear right to appeal the August decision that vacated the convictions and dismissed all charges. The Winston-Salem Five, all teenagers when they were charged in the 2002 killing of 61-year-old Nathaniel Jones. He was found beaten outside his home. Banner and Cawthon were convicted in 2004 at just 14 and 15 years old. Their co-defendants, Jamal Tolliver, Christopher Bryant, and Darrell Brayboy, were convicted the following year. They were released after serving 12 years in prison. The ruling to overturn the convictions impacts all five. As Banner and Cawthon are still behind bars, we do not have a timeline for their release just yet, but we will continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as we get them. In studio, I'm Christine Cruz, WXII 12 News.
Christine, thank you. Also, shocking new testimony today in the probable cause hearing of Shotzi Buck Hayes.
He's accused of setting Danville City Councilman Lee Vogler on fire. And our Chris Peterson is in front of the courthouse in Danville with what was revealed today. Chris.
I can tell you it was incredibly tense in the courtroom as Commonwealth Attorney Michael Newman laid out the facts of this case, which included testimony from investigator Sergeant Garrett Clay, who said Hayes told him he set Vogler on fire because Vogler was having an affair with his wife. Shackled and wearing an orange jumpsuit, Shotzi Buck Hayes was led into a Danville courtroom. There, a judge read the charges Hayes is facing.
Alleging July 30th, the attempted first-degree murder of Jack Lee Vogler, as well as an aggravated malicious wounding.
Stephen Seipel, who works with Vogler at Showcase Magazine, was the first witness to testify. He told the court Vogler answered a knock at the door and then told Seipel to call 911. He poured gas on me. Seipel then testified that he saw Hayes chasing Vogler with a bucket of gasoline. Seipel later found Vogler lying in the mulch in front of the building.
His shirt had been burned off, his chest was very pink, and his arms were really bad.
Next, Sergeant Garrett Clay, an investigator with the Danville Police Department, testified that he interviewed Hayes after he was arrested, then shocked the courtroom when he shared why Hayes told him he set Vogler on fire.
So he indicated he set someone on fire?
He did.
Okay. Did he indicate where that was and why that happened?
He did.
What did he say?
He stated that he had set the person on fire who had had an affair with his wife.
The last witness to testify was Lee Vogler's wife, Blair. She shared with the court that her husband suffered third-degree burns over 60% of his body.
Which led to infections. He's been in shock, burn shock, septic shock. He had a grade 3 inhalation injury, which is like smoke injury, and burns to his lungs. So he suffered pneumonia.
Is he still hospitalized?
He is. He's still in the burn ICU.
The judge certified the 2 charges against Hayes. That means this case will be brought before a grand jury on October 27th. If they rule there's probable cause, it will go to trial. Shotzi Buck Hayes faces life in prison if convicted. In Danville, Virginia, I'm Chris Peterson, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Chris. Winston-Salem police believe 2 people shot last night were targeted. Officers found a 21-year-old man and a 20-year-old woman shot on Peters Creek Parkway just before 10 o'clock. This is between Brewer Road and Silas Creek Parkway. We are told both victims suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The circumstances leading up to the shooting remain under investigation, and so far, no arrests have been made. Highway 89 outside of Mount Airy remains closed due to a law enforcement investigation. Surrey County Schools telling us the highway is closed near Hardy's Custom Golf from Toast Road to Sparger Road. The closure will impact afternoon dismissal and cause some delays. We have reached out to the Surrey County Sheriff's Office for more information.
All right, turning now to our weather. Imelda has strengthened to a hurricane as it pulls away from the east coast. Let's check in with meteorologist Dave Aiken to see where it's now and where is it headed. Dave, what can you tell us at this hour?
Well, you can see here it's well off the southeast coast, but it's made that easterly turn today, Kara, so we're happy about that, and it'll continue to stay out to sea. And Umberto's still out there ahead of it as well. And I tell you, Imelda might actually start to even strengthen a little bit more as it moves off to the east as we go through time. But that's where the storms are located at the moment. Imelda, as of the 2 o'clock advisory, we'll get another advisory around 5 o'clock. 85-mile-per-hour winds with this one. Category 1 hurricane moving to the east-northeast about 12 miles per hour. And it's going to go over some warmer waters. And is it right before, and I'm going to stop this here, this little dot, that's Bermuda, may actually strengthen. It'll be a strong Category 1 or 2 by the time it goes past that as we get on into during the day on Wednesday, and then move on out to the North Atlantic with time as well, and then eventually kind of fizzle non-tropical by the time we get to late Thursday or into the day on Friday. And then there's Umberto, 80-mile-per-hour winds. It's really weakened today, and it is moving fast, 18 miles per hour, and it's going to stay and has already stayed just off to the west of Bermuda, so no issues there. It's going to go on out to sea, and it's going to die with time too, especially as we get into late in the day tomorrow. It may become extra tropical as we get into the late in the day Wednesday, or especially as we get into early Thursday. Showers down along the coast, not too bad, nothing heavy. Most of the rains are down south of Myrtle Beach and between there and Charleston. And then here at home, we got a few showers mainly off to our east over portions of the Triangle. A little scattered shower activity over Forsyth and parts of Yadkin County. So we'll kind of see this as we go in through this evening. Temperatures right now, not too bad out there, right around the 70-degree mark. Some low 60s back out over the mountains right now. And the wind speeds haven't been horrible today. We've had a few gusts out there from time to time, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour and a little higher at times. But we'll see the winds kind of stay up today, and tomorrow might be a little breezy as well. We'll keep the breezes in tonight. Clouds around, maybe a few sprinkles left over in the Piedmont around 8 or 9 o'clock. But things are on the mend, and we're going to see things start to straighten out here. More on Imelda and Umberto coming up. Our scattered showers are ending already, and more sun and cool mornings ahead later this week. We'll discuss that. You're going to feel fall-like here before too long, Kara.
All right, Dave, thank you. Let's check on conditions along the South Carolina coastline. WXII 12's Joshua Davis joins us from Surfside Beach. And Joshua, how are things where you are?
There's still some light rain and the sky is still overcast, but it's a noticeably better day compared to Monday, evident by the people we've seen walking along the beach. Tourists and natives alike of Horry County say they weren't too worried about Imelda's impact on the coast, although it did slow down activity in some coastal communities. Wind and rain was the extent of the impacts we've seen, although not enough for Horry County officials to worry about. The county was operating normally through the weekend. People were back out on the beach Tuesday, including Coastal Carolina University students Nick and Hunter, who were out to catch some waves ahead of their next class.
I don't know, it's nothing new to me. I've seen bigger, but yeah, I feel like this is something small.
I mean, we expected like winds and everything, but it was just kind of calm, pretty much just a regular storm.
But even though Imelda is moving away from this area and the East Coast, Horry County officials are still urging beachgoers to pay attention to surf and marine conditions throughout the rest of this week. At Surfside Beach in South Carolina, I'm Joshua Davis reporting for WXII 12 News.
And the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School Board of Education met for a workshop today. The district faces $37 million in debt and needs to save more money in its budget. WXII 12's Kelly Kendall brings us inside the discussion and what it means for the district's finances moving forward.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools Board members worked through some key questions. What should they ask the General Assembly for, and what are their duties as district leaders? Board members heard from a lawyer with the State Board of Education and Department of Public Instruction. She talked about the duties of board members, superintendents, and chief financial officers when it comes to creating and approving a budget.
You need to know the details about where the money is. This is public money, and every place that it's being spent, the public, you're accountable to the public for it. And so it needs to be clear where it's going and how it's being spent.
Board members also reviewed their legislative agenda and talked about making changes. The last agenda was created in January before the scope of the district's budget crisis was realized. Now their top request for state lawmakers will be money to help pay for the massive $37 million deficit from last fiscal year. Board members did not lay out how much money they're going to be asking for or whether they'll ask for a loan or an appropriation. That will be determined after the district finalizes its budget and deficit numbers. In Winston-Salem, I'm Kelly Kendall for WXII 12 News.
Kelly, thank you. Lawmakers have less than 7 hours to strike a deal before the government shuts down, risking the jobs and paychecks of thousands of federal workers. This is a live look at Washington, D.C. The Senate is set to vote on a bill to keep the government open this evening, but the